Wind warnings, rainfall warnings from Ontario to Newfoundland. This is your national forecast with special attention to the east. We're looking at Waterloo and southwestern Ontario where the rain was coming down on Halloween. And the strong winds, too. And the winds are going to be really picking up through the early morning hours on Friday. Friday morning will be especially gusty. And the waves will be particularly high on Lake Erie, Lake Ontario as the day goes on. Lake Huron will certainly see some very high waves. It's one of those days where if you were thinking, I might take the boat out, I would suggest no. Okay, so there we go. There are the wind warnings in place in yellow. We're talking about winds gusting to approximately 90 kilometers per hour in these areas potentially. All of this is coming up from the U.S. It is a potent storm and it could be knocking out power in southern Ontario, in southern Quebec as well potentially. And it has certainly been doing that stateside as well. So that's your wind. Here is your rain across much of northern Ontario. That's all rain, and then all the way down to the eastern shores of Georgian Bay across to the Ottawa Valley. Potential for 50 to 60 millimeters of rain. Southern Ontario won't see quite that amount. You've seen rain already coming down. Another shot of rain before Friday is over as well. And then the story will be the temperature drop. So as we look at Kitchener, for example, Saturday more showers. So that will be a shock to the system, I think, for some people who have been enjoying the mild weather. The mildest weather in the entire country was in St. Catharines. As a matter of fact, on Halloween, on Thursday, at 19.6 degrees. Toronto hit 16, will hit 15 on Friday, and then cooling off to 4 degrees on Sunday. Let's go to Pasadena. And yes, that is snow coming down. And it has been snowing across Labrador as well. Happy Valley, Goose Bay has seen some snow. Churchill Falls has seen some snow Thursday night. Here's the system on Friday morning. Widespread rain across the Maritimes and Newfoundland. The winds will be particularly strong across the Maritime provinces, but the rain will be particularly heavy in Newfoundland, especially along the western shore. Warnings and wind warnings from Ontario all the way to Newfoundland. And we are talking about winds that could cause a lot of problems. Southern Ontario through the early morning hours, Quebec through Friday afternoon, Atlantic Canada as well, Friday morning and Friday night. So let's talk a little bit about this storm. We've got rainfall warnings in place. Areas could see in excess of 45 millimeters of rain. Not so much the Golden Horseshoe or the GTA. You have seen rain. You will see more rain, but the bigger story for you will be the wind, and it will be damaging at times. There is certainly potential for power outages with this kind of wind, and it's really going to pick up through the early morning hours on Friday and continue through much of the morning on Friday. So in the darkest green, that's the heaviest amount of rain, but we also have the wind. So here are our wind warnings, and we're talking about gusts to about 90 kilometers per hour. The waves are going to be extremely high on Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, and Lake Huron, especially through the day on Friday. And we're talking about waves 10 to 20 feet high, and that's, of course, because of the wind. So the wind really picking up through the early morning hours as expected. Of course, it's my garbage day, so I assume that my neighbor will have my recycling bin at some point, but it's going to be that kind of day. On Saturday, you're going to notice that temperatures are going to cool on the back side of this in Ontario. So it's very, very mild. The warmest spot in the entire country was St. Catharines on Thursday, 17.6 degrees. It was Halloween, of course, and a lot of kids out trick-or-treating, getting a little on the wet side. These are temperatures over the next 3 days and conditions as well. And you'll note by Sunday, temperatures really dropping off low single digits. Let's go to Nova Scotia. So many people go all out for Halloween. I love Halloween. I love the decorations. I love seeing the kids at the door. I had these people come to the door, a father and his little one, but the father was dressed so scary, I almost had a heart attack. Anyway, super creepy, but I love the effort. I love it. Okay, so here we go. Temperatures on Thursday. It was mild, but it is getting milder. The rain has moved in across the Maritime provinces. We've been seeing snow in Newfoundland, not Newfoundland, the island, but Labrador, Happy Valley, Goose Bay, Churchill Falls, reporting snow. This is wind that's going to be picking up through the day on Friday, although wind warnings for Cape Breton are already happening through tonight. Listen to that wind. This is in Niagara Falls. We've got a little viewer video here for you. Plenty of kids, too. That's fantastic. Some of the warmest weather in the country was in the Niagara region. In fact, the hot spot for Canada was St. Catharines. 19.6 degrees, but it's also some of the windiest weather as well. We do have wind warnings all around the Niagara region. Rainfall warnings in place as well, not in the GTA, but cottage country certainly under those rainfall warnings, 50 to 60 millimeters of rain. Yeah, this is a big system, and rain is only part of it. Wind is a huge part of this, and especially through the overnight hours and into Friday morning. So we have not a lot of rain left for southern Ontario, although another swath is coming, and potentially thunderstorms too. Just keep that in mind. The entire state of Ohio is currently under a severe thunderstorm watch. These are wind warnings, and as you can see along the shores of Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, Huron, Georgian Bay, all under wind warnings. Toronto, Hamilton, not, but still is going to be very windy. I would suggest you don't park near a tree if you can avoid it. And so we could also see power outages. So it's going to get worse. This is what it was like earlier in the day with trick-or-treaters. Kasha was in Milton. Yeah, it's all about just having the right frame of mind, isn't it? And obviously it's going to get worse a lot later on through the early morning hours. So kiddies won't have to worry too much about that. But yes, the winds will be strong on Friday morning. Keep that in mind. And they won't ease until Friday afternoon. 13 degrees. It's been very mild, this southerly push of air. Temperatures just climbing into the mid to high teens. Hamilton hit 18 degrees on Thursday. This will be your morning temperature, 12. Not bad, but of course temperature is not what we're worried about right now, is it? It's those winds and the likelihood of power outages. Thousands without power stateside already with this storm. So yes, I would suggest that perhaps you have the flashlights on hand or whatever it is that you need that you're worried about if you lose power. 13 degrees in Barrie to start the day, 13 degrees in Oshawa as well. So we're looking at temperatures that will be mild, but not for long. By Sunday, we're looking at temperatures 4 and 5 degrees for daytime highs.